Alright, so I've been sitting on this content for about 2 months now. I've had a rank 4 unduped White Tiger for a while, but I finished 9.3 and I went for 2 Mystic Crystals to try to dupe her. And I duped her, which is great. And so I had the second crystal and I was like, you know what? I don't care what I get. I duped my tiger, that's all I need. And then I get another White Tiger, which is honestly pretty good because I wanted to max sig her and that saves me 26, which is great. So yeah, as you're gonna see here, I'm gonna take her to 180 just in case I dupe her again, naturally. Now I'm not gonna show any battlegrounds because the past couple metas have been a little weird, and I don't push in BG, so I'm only fighting like rank threes at most, maybe a couple of rank fours here and there. Um, but I don't have the CCP map, so it's a little harder. If you want to see her in battlegrounds, Trappy has a really good video on her, and like a battlegrounds showcase, so you should watch that. But starting off, this is just a basic Winter Soldier punching bag that everyone's used to and everyone expects in a video. So I'm going to show it. And I'm also going to show a little bit with like synergies and recoil and full boost and everything. So we'll get to that. But what I like to do with her is dash back, dash in for the precision after I stun, and then go for a special one. I like to do two SP1s and then a special two, unless the fight is like not gonna last that long. Like for this, a special one, special two is pretty much enough. I feel like I think a little bit of a combo after because the bleed is decent, especially when you have the sig. Like it's just gonna push you to another special. It doesn't really matter what rotation you go for. So I do really like her for that because you can go any rotation you want. So this was 40 seconds. Now with recoils, with boosts, with full synergies, everything stacked up, and class advantage. So I'm not even gonna go for a special one here, which is pretty crazy because I'm already doing 29k mediums with no ramp. So I'm just gonna go straight to special two with my precision, and then the fight is over. That was, I think, how long was that? 16 seconds. That, I mean, I don't know about you, but that's pretty good for me. So for this fight, I wanted to get to 7 Furies, which you can get through the special 3, which is great because usually the cap is 5, but with the special 3 you get to 7. It's so much overkill. The only place that really survives up to that ramp is Labyrinth. So you can see here I'm doing 50 or like 49k mediums, 50k on every hit of the special. And even when I drop back to 5 Furies, I'm still doing 42k on the mediums, which is ridiculous. But I mean, like I said, it's not really realistic because there's not really fights that are that long that you need her for. But you can see the SIG coming in handy here because when the opponent or you drop below 15%, you're pretty much getting 3 bars of power, I think, through that power gain. And 15% in Labyrinth is still a lot of health, so it does help a lot more than like in usual fights, where it's like 500k, 15% might not be that much health, so it doesn't matter. But here it does show up pretty nicely. So for questing, I really like her for questing. This is 9.3. This is the showcase of her Nullify Immunity. So I'm gonna show different fights with different, like how she applies her utility, I guess. So this one is Nullify Immunity. There's buffet and there's placebos. So anytime you hit, you're gonna get a placebo on you. There's a chance to get it, and then it would get nullified, and they would heal like 15% health or 10% health. I'm not sure, but she's Nullify immune from nodes, from champions. It doesn't matter. I think Adam Warlock or Red Skull are like immune to nullify from champions, but not from nodes. So she's just immune, full stop, which is really nice. It comes in handy actually a lot more than you would expect. But yeah, I do the normal rotation, SP1, SP1, and then special 2. I get my unblockable active, and then I do another special 2. And then do I go for combo? I do go for a combo. And then a special 2. Now that combo thing that I did, the stand-up, I usually do it when they're at 3 bars because I like to be a little more aggressive and nuky. But since they quote-unquote fixed Silk, the opponent just drops a special 3 now. Like the button to activate a special or to go for a light is just not, it doesn't activate in time, before the opponent just throws a special 3. I don't know if they like I don't think they made it that they're more likely to throw a special. They just made it so they can throw it like a little earlier than usual, which makes you unable to land a combo and chain another combo. Because the time that they throw it is insane. You don't even have time to throw a special and to block even. The button just doesn't activate. Which sucks a little because I like to use her that way and just push the special 3 and be aggressive. But, I mean, whatever. I guess it's a little too much. But she doesn't need it. It's not like she's ruined now. She's still great. But, you know, she might need to hold off just a teeny tiny bit between specials. But you can see here, both of these fights, I think, end in like 40 to 50. I think this one's like 50 seconds for 9.3, which is pretty good. For a node that's basically just nothing, because she counters the node, there's no like extra attack. That's pretty good. And then here I want to show her Nullify and her power gain control. This is just a basic node. I don't think there's anything special here. So when you do a combo ender, which is like a 4th light attack or a 2nd medium, she just immediately eats the power gain, which is great. Now, I think this also applies to Energize. I'm not entirely sure. But you can see, like, I just do medium, medium, boom. The power gain's gone. Now, sometimes if the power gain isn't too crazy, you can keep it because she gains a part of that power gain they're getting. So when Hyperion has a power gain buff, or like an Energizer, any time he gains power, whether from getting hit, or from a buff, or from a passive, she's gaining a percentage of that power. So it helps her, but if it's too much power gain, you can just like do medium, medium, and the power gain's gone. And you get ND out of it, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's why it was pretty much nothing. I mean, she handles Hyperion very nicely. Then I think there's a Storm. Yeah. So does she need the SIG? I guess people are gonna ask. No. It's helpful though. It's really nice. I love the SIG because it lets me be a little more aggressive, and it clutches sometimes. But I guess if I want to like explain how she works a little more in detail, essentially every other special attack power steals from the opponent. So you're gonna see the special 1. Hold on, I'm gonna try to time it so I can explain as I'm going. So I'm gonna throw the special 1, and you can see I'm power stealing. And then I went over a bar of power, so I activated the unblockable. But then my second special did not power steal. The third one will power steal. So that's kind of how she's like balanced around the power stealing. Because on every special, it's basically like they're never going to be able to throw a special. So it's every other special instead. And then I throw my special 2. The unblockable is on cooldown, so I kind of have to go for a combo in order to chain another special. But like once you're ramped and you're dumping SP2s back to back, the fights go so fast. Now here, I want to show off the regen control, because she has really nice regen control. It's not a heal block debuff, it's just a bleed. But while it's active, they're not able to heal. So for champions like Gore, I'm not sure if Gore is immune to heal block or he like reduces the duration of it, but some champions are starting to become immune to heal block, which she still counters because her bleed is just a bleed. It's kind of like Warlock's heal block. It's not like literally a heal block, but when the bleed is active, they can't regen. And then when the bleed expires, every regen buff is nullified, which is great. So like you can see here, she has 1, but it's just gonna go away. You don't have to worry that, oh, when it expires, they're gonna heal. So this works on Serpent's Immortality, it works on regen passives, on buffs, whatever it is. It completely stops regen, and she steals the regen that the opponent would get. So I'm back at a yellow bar. I think I was at 90% at some point, but I'm gonna show a little more of that healing in this fight or the one after. So it really is a nice bleed regen steal kind of ability, because in Battlegrounds, or like in PvP, I guess, there's willpower. So when you put the bleed, they're gonna willpower, and you're gonna get healing out of that. But they're gonna get blocked, so they're not even gonna get the willpower. And in normal fights, you know, obviously it's not gonna always like heal you because they don't have willpower. But if there are regen buffs, if there's like any ability or whatever, she is gonna seal it. So you can see here I'm at 75% or 72. Count like what, 5 seconds, 6 seconds? I'm back at a yellow bar. Like that easily. Now she didn't nullify them because I think he's like immune sometimes. I don't know how Annihilus works. But she still stops it, which is amazing. I think she was like made to counter Hulkling, but Hulkling is immune to Power Steel, so I don't know. It's a little awkward because when an indestructible is active, the bleed is paused. So like, and Hulkling has regens and indestructible, and a bunch of buffs. So like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think she was like made for him, but he's immune to Power Steel, so she's not really even that great for him. But she does counter his healing, which is nice, I guess. So yeah, she doesn't really need to have buffs on the opponent. It's nice when they do because she gains MD from it. But here he has 7 regens. He's not healing anything. I'm healing all of it. I do a combo. I throw a special. The Sig is helping me get more power, and he just dies. Once you're ramped, you're just spamming these specials back to back to back. It's really fun. I really, really like her for questing. Now for this fight, I want to show her Purify. Like, utility, I guess. So, for every buff on the opponent, not a unique buff, just buff in general. I thought it was unique, but it's even better than I thought. For every single buff on the defender, she has a 20% chance to purify any debuff put on her. I think it's damaging debuffs. I'm not sure if it's non-damaging. But Gore always has 5 buffs on himself. So I'm going to block a special 1 here. And every single debuff he puts on me is going to get purified. 100% chance, no RNG, as long as they have 5. If they have less than 5, you have less chance, but it's still active. So if they have 4, you still have an 80% chance to purify debuffs, which is really, it's such a good ability to have Purify on a Mystic champion. It's so random, but it's helped me so many times, especially against Gore. So I just wanted to show that. And plus the regen, because he has regen. So you can block that, you can heal it all up, even if you eat some debuffs. And the fight is over, yellow bar. It's so great. And pretty fast. A minute for a 9.3, not too bad. Now this is a boss. I think this is 9.3.4 or something in that arena. But it has 1.3 million health. It's like you need to have buffs on yourself or on him. I don't remember. And like some reverse controls, which is gonna, yeah, I'm gonna mess up a couple times. I don't really like reverse controls that much. But you know, as usual, I'm gonna go for a special 1. I usually try not to bait a special initially, so that my first special 1 steals more, and I can get to my second one just a little faster. But you can really do any rotation you want with her. You can go for a special 3 if you want. You can go for a special 2 first. It doesn't matter. Every special is gonna power steal. Every special is gonna give you the Furies, and you're good. Now a good thing about her is that she never gets the special 3 unless you're throwing a heavy attack. So as much as you power steal, as much MD as you get, you're never gonna get pushed to special 3. Which, thank God it's there, because she would have been horrible if it wasn't. Because she power steals so much, she's always basically at a special 3. But unless you're throwing a heavy attack, you're gonna throw a special 2, which is great. Kind of like, I blanked. I don't even know who else, but some champions have that. Chothra, right? I think Chothra has that. So, yeah, all in all, I really like her. She's great. I think she's a little underrated. She doesn't do everything, but she does do Dark Phoenix pretty nice. Serpent, Thanos, if you're a little slow. She's not the fastest in doing them, because you kind of want to keep in mind like the bleed, the Furies, what they're doing. You still want to base special attacks, but she does them pretty well. But like I said, I'm not really into Battlegrounds all that much, so I just wanted to show her around the game, just not necessarily BGs. But yeah, that's White Tiger.